Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. What's up, Internet? It's been a good week in gaming. It's Saturday. It's 7 p.m. Eastern. That means here on Ready Check Radio, it's time for Gaming Gumbo, your weekly gaming wrap-up. I'm your host, Mike Byrne. This is episode 14. If you're watching on YouTube or listening over on Spotify, head on over when you get a moment to ReadyCheckRadio.com, RAIDEO.com. Give us a follow on all the socials. Show your love and support. Keep us making shows here. Bring all your friends. And make it live, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. Shows every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. It's Saturday at 7 p.m., so that means it's Gaming Gumbo time. And joining me to have a helping is Mr. Jason Winter. How are you, sir?
You know what we forgot to do last week?
What did we forget?
The only time on this whole history of the show that we never did it, I believe.
What's that?
We didn't mention Cyberpunk.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have to look at the show notes, but yeah.
Yeah. But now I've actually mentioned it, so we're good for this show.
Yeah, we're good for this one. Thank you. I mean, you're always looking out. People don't know the kind of guy you are like I do, and Jason
probably could.
Also on the line.
The less they know about me, the better.
Yod, you're pixelating already. What's up, man?
Yes, I am. I don't know what's wrong with it. I've shut everything else down around my area. I don't think the wife's streaming or anything. I mean, they're not supposed to be starting up D&D for another 30 minutes, so I don't know.
Maybe you just need wider cables to get more internet through.
Yeah,
Right.
Bigger cables. That's
Right,
the
I
way
need
it
bigger
works.
cables.
What's your bandwidth? Like this?
This
this.
much.
About that much.
Yes, little bandwidth.
Oh, we really got to figure this out. We really
I
got to
don't know
figure
what's
that
going
out.
on there.
All right. Well, we got some big gaming news this week, and a little bit of throwback. It was what we'll start with first, and then Xbox did talk about their huge Bethesda purchase, or what we refer to as 1/7 of a Roblox. That's a reference to the free-to-play cast on mmobomb.com. Make sure you check that out too. Jason and I had quite a bit of fun this week with Wilfredo. And we opened a box, which is always good.
Yeah.
But a little bit of throwback. Let's start there, gentlemen. Did either of you play Turtles in Time? The old arcade brawler smasher?
Yes.
Honestly, don't know that I played that, but I did play the original, the one before the regular Turtles game.
Oh,
I
the
played-
NES one?
Oh God.
No, in the arcade.
The Turtles in Time.
No, the
Yeah.
first one was the first. No, the
First
one
one
was
in the arcade.
Oh, just the arcade game one.
Yeah, just the arcade.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this is in that same vein too. So
Right.
So you're right on point. We got a trailer this week for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, getting a new retro beat 'em up called Shredder's Revenge, made by the team behind Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game. Either of you dabble in that one?
I have played that. Yeah.
Have you
When
really?
It was, yeah. Yeah, it was like I think it was a PSN game 1 month.
I was never into the whole Scott Pilgrim
Way
IP,
back.
so I didn't play any of it.
It was free, so I downloaded and played it. I mean, it was fun. The company seems to know what they're doing with retro games, so
Yeah, and especially
hopefully
these
this
little,
will be-
these beat 'em ups. They're pretty damn good at it. But this is, if you watch this trailer, obviously I'm not going to show it with the music. I mean, the trailer is badass, but the as far as the animation and everything goes. But they also do use, Jason, the theme song, a variation of the, I should say, of the theme song from the original animated cartoon. Yeah. And as soon as like it started, I was like just grinning ear to ear like an idiot.
Yeah, it's the exact same lyrics, and they say in there it's sung by the lead singer of Faith No More. If you
Yeah.
remember that band from way back when, so I
Yeah,
didn't
which
even
is
recognize
a
that.
really odd combination when you think about it.
Well, Faith No More was big around 1989, back when the original Turtles game came out. So there you go. It's the same.
So now
same-
here's the thing. Obviously, we will see all 4 Turtles. This is very arcade beat 'em up, like the arcade game or the console Turtles in Time game. So you could have co-op with all 4 Turtles and everything. But when you watch the trailer here, there seems to be maybe an indication that other characters might be involved. As far as playable, you do see Shredder. I'm sorry, Splinter smacking a mouser. You do see April O'Neil laying down some Foot Clan with a big foot to the face. Now we're actually seeing some gameplay in the trailer, and this just makes me want to play this right now. It's got that retro look while being current, and that's a really hard line to land on artistically, Yod.
It is. It really is. But I mean, the way the gameplay looks and feels, and the way that they're set up with the side scroll and stuff, where it's like sort of 3D. It's like when they're pushing the edge of 2Ds, where there's like 2
Yep.
or 3 different platforms, but you're
Yeah,
really
you got that like
not
2.5D look.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to pull that off well, and I think they did, which it's really exciting.
Now, we don't know, Jason, when it's coming.
What else you
Probably
want me to
soon.
say?
Yeah, I mean, every story is like kind of expecting it around summerish of this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually later than that. It is PC and console, though. So you don't have to just grab this one on PC. And actually,
Well, it has to be console.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was going to say,
gotta have
Jason, I feel
controller
like
on
this
it.
is one you got to play on console.
Yeah,
I'm
it's the sort
glad
of
you
thing
said
where,
it.
Or especially like if, like it's like I almost wouldn't even want to play it online. Like I want to play it with people
Right.
on my couch together with multiple controllers.
Look at this Rocksteady and Bebop. So awesome.
Right. You want that four controller setup where you're all
Hell
crowded around
yeah.
the screen and you can elbow each other.
And if it doesn't come out
Oh,
till fall, maybe we'll actually be able to sit together with people back at
You
that time.
don't say.
maybe.
You
Maybe.
can
I
actually
mean,
see other people.
it is like the dumbest thing to be super pumped about, but when I saw the trailer, I was like, you know what? I will pre-order. Where is the pre-order button? It's not there yet, but
That is the thing that worries me a little bit, though. It's like how long of a game is there? Like for back in the day, an arcade 30 years ago, you plug in your quarters, you play for an hour
yep.
or hour and a half, maybe at most. I don't want to pay $20 or even $20 for a game that's going to last an hour and a half. Like, what is it going to be the replayability of something like this?
Well, you also have like this type of game, although lends itself to like the difficulty levels for replayability and stuff.
It's the
So
same
those,
thing, though, so,
if that's not what you're looking for, but we've seen like what is it, Golden Axe and Streets of Rage, and a bunch of those titles get relatively recent remakes or not remasters. They were total remakes, like this is.
Sure.
But and those have been well received by the beat 'em up community, and they're not necessarily long drawn out 12 15 hour affairs. They're the replayability is in those extra options, the difficulty, some of the things that you can do with the online that you couldn't do back then. So yeah, I think I can't imagine it being any more than like $20-$25. I'm with you there. I think that's the price point.
Yeah.
Maybe if they get greedy, they go 30. If they go any more than that, you better have a list of features that I'm just not anticipating a beat 'em up
Right.
to have. But if it comes out for 20, they got my 20. If it comes out for 25, they got my 25. If it comes out for 30, maybe I'm gonna have to start thinking about it a little bit, Jason.
Yeah.
But damn, does the animation look good? Looks so good. They need to just re-release the cartoon in
Very
this
pretty.
format, not the way they did. I don't like the weird boxy
there's-
head turtles.
I don't like the
freaks me
current
out.
one. The 3D one they released previous to that was really good. The story they did for that was really nice, and I liked how they played the different turtles off of each other. Because I back in the day, since this was my childhood, this is right in my wheelhouse. I got the comics and all that stuff, the toys back in the day and all that.
Yeah,
I
I was never
watched
into the
every single
comics. Were
episode.
you, Jason?
No, my sister had a few though. She
Yeah.
actually had them before they were a thing. She had a couple of comics.
Right.
That was
That's
They
my
the ones
first
I'm
still
talking
have
about. Too.
them?
I've asked her about this before. They were like reprints, and they're only worth like $5 or
Oh,
something. Yeah,
gotcha.
they're not there. I
Um,
have
I've-
checked with her, but yeah, this was like 1986 or something when she first showed me those. So yeah.
Yeah, I was
My-
never into comics in general. Like here and there, Tales from the Crypt, that was a huge comic book favorite of mine. But other than that, like I definitely was into the show. I had all the toys. I still have in a little photo album. Like remember the plastic sleeve photo books you used to buy? You just slip photos in it, like 5x7s in it. I have one of those full of the rectangular stickers. They're still on their back panels. They haven't been stuck to anything. Of the entire set that came with Bonkers candy, if you remember that.
No, I
Which
don't.
was a
Wow.
great candy, fantastic candy. But in each like tube of them or whatever pack, there would be one Ninja Turtle sticker, and I think there was like 12 in the set, and I have all 12 still in this book. I'll have to show it on stream sometime. It's probably worthless, but it's cool that it's still. I loved the Ninja Turtles. I remember my dad when I finally got old enough to learn about Christmas and things like that. He made sure to regale me with how long he exactly waited in front of how many different stores to get all 4 of the Ninja Turtles that Christmas when the toys came out. Because remember, they were ridiculous to get.
Too. Yeah.
They were
But
ridiculous to
some
get.
of my books were the originals. So
You said
they're at my mom's house still.
Oh, but you still
I
have
don't
them.
know. They're at my mom's house, so they're somewhere. My brother's probably taking care of them because he does that, and they're in a box somewhere in my mom's house. I
Glitch
think
in
he
chat
turned
saying
my
that
old...
has the comics where they're the real TMNT, you know, because they were dark. Like
Yes,
if you
yes,
don't
the
know,
ones-
the original comic
yeah.
books were dark.
Oh, yeah,
AF.
remember the second movie? They had to like make it so that they were less violent.
Uh-huh.
They
The
weren't allowed to
ones from
kill people or
First
whatever.
Comics.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I'm talking about, where they all had red bandanas.
Yeah. They weren't color
And in the
coded
first
yet.
issue, they killed Shredder.
The one my sister had was black and white, so I don't know what color they're
Yeah.
bandanas. So.
Well, the covers were in color. The rest of them were black and white. Yeah.
Yeah, some people in chat apparently didn't know that. Yeah, go back and online and look at the original comics before they were syndicated into a TV show or toned down even in the comics to sell more to kids. That was a dark comic book.
Oh yeah.
And even more interestingly, if you don't know, that IP has a really bizarre history.
Very
Like
much so.
ownership and people losing rights and then fights for rights. And there was a show, I think it was on Netflix. It was Toys That Made Us, I think is what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
And there is an episode on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it is incredibly, if you know, then fine. But if you don't know, it's actually a very interesting episode to watch and see like the original creators, and they had those two guys had a falling out for a little while, and then the rights went here, and lots
Kevin
of
Eastman
drama.
and Peter Laird.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, lots
and,
of drama.
Eastman is still alive, I believe.
I know
and
one of
he's
them is. I don't know which one.
yeah.
I don't know which
I'm
one.
pretty sure it's Eastman, and he's a really big proponent of artist rights for comics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is really cool
Yeah. Oh yeah. They were
because
dark.
of everything they went through.
But we'll be getting that game soon, and I am super excited about that.
I do wonder if they're gonna pull in Usagi Yojimbo.
Well, I want to know the entire cast, like of playables too. Like we see the Technodrome, we see Shredder, and April O'Neil and Splinter and all that in the trailer. Like who's playable? Who are you fighting? But you know what? I don't care. It's just I watched it with just 8-year-old glee, just absolute glee.
I was older when that.
How old was I? TMNT
I don't
original.
Sounds about right. 80. It says
cartoon.
89 was in the first game.
89. Okay, I was.
First episode air date December
9 or
14,
10.
1987.
Okay.
So I was
87, really?
Yeah, it was the
Wow.
first air date for the original cartoon, and I was so I would have been 6. I would have been almost 7. Almost.
I was 7. Yeah, I was 7.
Jason, you were 41. not as happy as we are about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles might be Electronic Arts. And it's not that they're mad about the Ninja Turtles. It's just that they ran into a little bit of a problem this week. EA. Imagine that. They ran into a little bit of a problem.
EA has
yeah. Let me tell you a little bit about EA Gate, gentlemen. Apparently, allegedly, some internal EA employees or employee have been caught or accused of selling FIFA 21 Ultimate Team cards, the super, super, super rare ones, directly to players for cash.
But I heard that wasn't possible. EA.
I heard that wasn't possible either. I know.
Isn't something like that a little illegal?
Well, so from Destructoid's reporting, the supposed transactions revolve around the direct selling of the FIFA Ultimate Team icon moments, incredibly rare cards based on legendary footballers such as Pele. One tweet shows an alleged transaction that features one icon moment and 2 Team of the Year cards changing hands for a total of €1,000, roughly $1,200. And another example allegedly shows 3 icon moments and 2 Team of the Year cards selling off market for €1,700, about $2,000. Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
So back in my day,
when you were like 41 and the Turtles had just come out.
Yeah, exactly. Now, back when I was working for Decipher, there were cabinets full of cards, and we didn't have eBay or anything back then. But if I wanted to grab like a $50 card or whatever out of there, I could just probably just grabbed it and done what I wanted or whatever. I'll tell you, even now, like 15 years after I've stopped working for any CCG company, I still have cards. I've thought about, I should sell these. I'm not going to use them anymore, but that's okay, right? I can sell them, can't I? I know the company gave them to me, but I can do that now. So even now, I feel a little iffy about that sort of thing. I can't imagine actually doing it for a few $1,000s when you actually still work for the company.
Yeah. And they're digital cards, for God's sake.
Sure. Well, not knowing how that worked exactly.
Right. The allegations apparently, Yod, were taken seriously enough. There was enough behind the accusation, screenshot-wise and stuff, that EA is looking into this. They, in fact, released an official statement via the EA Sports FIFA Twitter account that says, "We are aware of the allegations currently circulating within our community related to FIFA 21 Ultimate Team items. A thorough investigation is underway. And if we identify improper conduct, we will take swift action. We want to be clear. This type of behavior is unacceptable and previously stated to be impossible. And we in no way condone what is alleged to have happened here. We understand how this creates concern about unfair balance in the game and competition. We will update the community as we get more clarity on the situation."
We understand the only people who should be making money off Ultimate Team is us.
I've never played the game before. So for those of us who have no idea how these cards are obtained, are they random? Are they loot box? What's going on there?
It's buying a Magic the Gathering pack of cards, right? And it's
Sort of
totally random what's in there.
Okay.
And you can earn currency in the game. That it works the same in Madden, right? Madden has the Madden Ultimate Team. You can earn currency in game at a very, very minuscule rate to buy them, or you could just shell out cash to go ahead and buy the cards. And then those cards are used in your Ultimate Team. It's not like you can just go to a standard online mode and modify the hell out of the roster or anything with those cards. I would play you against my FIFA Ultimate Team and your FIFA Ultimate Team.
Okay.
But here's the thing, Jason. I thought that, you couldn't unbalance the game by owning certain cards. They're in court saying that these are surprise mechanics, and
it creates concern about the unfair bank balance. They forgot to add a word there. checking account balance.
EA has literally been in court all year arguing that these have almost virtually no impact on the game. It's this one mode that, if you want to play it, go ahead. But here in this statement, we understand that this raises concerns about fairness and, well, wait a minute. Which is it? Do these cards create an unfair balance by owning them or not? And stop arguing the other in court. This is not a good look. Not a good look at all. Particularly while arguing these mechanics in court to then have your employees undermine those arguments by selling these for clearly their valuable high dollar amounts, Jason.
I don't know that I agree. Just for the fact that I just don't know that it's going to matter in the long run. They're still going to make their billions. They're still going to fight tooth and nail and say the exact same thing that they've been saying for years. And yeah, again, I think when I look.
Well, don't misunderstand. I don't think it changes anything.
Exactly.
I just think it's a scummy optics look.
Oh no, EA looks bad. Gosh, that will hurt them. I am sure it will, sir.
Come on, their reputation's sparkling, right?
Yeah, I know.
Everything just kind of slides right off. They're Teflon.
Slides like mud on Teflon. Yeah.
Ninja, you're back. Welcome back to chat, my friend. Love you.
Oh god.
Oh man. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see the outcome of this one. But what a mess. Speaking of EA, on the good side of things, we were all kind of optimistic about the return of NCAA football to some degree, whatever the title was going to be and how things were going to work and all that stuff. We probably have a lot longer than even I originally anticipated. I thought when we originally talked about this that this was going to be a 2022 title. We weren't going to see one for this year, but we would see one for next year. I think you gentlemen were kind of along the same lines, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Turns out we're probably not going to see this until 2023, and that's the back half of 2023. Matt Brown of Extra Points recently shared an internal memo from the video game company that notes the new college football game is scheduled to be released in July of 2023. So we still have over 2 years before we see NCAA football return to the consoles from EA. Do you think this is just in response to, and we're going to talk a little bit about schools that have already agreed and not agreed to jump onto the program here, but do you think it's just in response to that, or did this news spill out like the day after they made the decision to go forward with this, and now we just have to wait, a traditional 2-year development cycle yet?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it that well because it's it's college football game, and quite frankly, the Madden games, I thought they just slapped new profile pictures on there and just ship the next game, because like how has the game itself actually changed in the past few years or whatnot with the models and stuff like that? It really hasn't, has it?
No,
yeah, you're talking a 10-year gap here, so.
Yeah.
They can just take the NFL one and change the skins and they're good to go, right?
Yeah, well, they need like 100 different stadiums too, so. Fight songs and all the other stuff, and mascots, so I can see that taking longer.
That's easy. Come on now.
I don't know. I honestly think, Jason, that this is tied up by. I think they are further. I don't think we got an announcement like the day they made this decision.
Sure.
I think they've already been developing it, and I think it probably could have. I'm guessing. I don't know internally or anything. I think it probably could have released next year, but I think there's too many concerns with the debate raging about likeness usage and compensation for college students right now, that I think maybe they're just taking the safer course and, let's plan on 2023.
Yeah, even the NCAA is figuring that out, and as we'll get to in a bit, some of the different schools are saying we don't know yet. We're going to wait and see how that all pans out. So yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think they could have had it out next year if they were going to.
Now, some of your favorite schools may already be on board. Some of them may not.
I forgot you guys have you have the paywall probably of that article I linked to, which I actually
No,
have
I got it.
to.
I
You
got
do?
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Penn State is in conditionally. They are conditionally in, reserving the right to back out if they don't like the way the development of the game or anything, or the new rules as far as compensation for likeness usage and everything goes. However, there are some notable names that are out. Penn State and 40 other schools are just confirmed as in or conditionally in. 7 are confirmed as out, including Notre Dame. Now, it should be noted that most of the ones that are out right now have not just said no. For the most part, they have said no right now. We want to see how the likeness usage and compensation of player stuff works out and what the new rules are, and we will reevaluate then. Kind of like a Jason, if you need an answer today, the answer is no. But if you're willing to wait, we're willing to relook at the situation later too.
So yeah, Notre Dame definitely one of the bigger names there, along with USC, another big one there. Wisconsin, Northwestern, Fresno State, TCU, and Tulane. So it makes you wonder how they would do it if that doesn't get sorted out. Like, how do you not have some of those schools?
Yeah, right. And you've got a lot of schools out that just haven't even made a call yet.
Yeah, they'll probably lose a few more at least. I'm under the same logic, at least provisionally.
Yeah, there's a ton here that just have not made any call yet. We don't have anybody from the SEC, by the way, yet.
Oh, nobody cares about football in the SEC, right?
Yeah.
Nobody
in the SEC has made a call one way or the other on whether they're going to be a part of this, not. So, Alabama, yeah, I mean, maybe they'll be in a NCAA football game. Who knows? Ole Miss? Yeah, these are. Does anybody even know who these teams are? I mean, really,
Yeah.
Texas A&M. Ever heard of them?
What's this? Florida?
No, I think that's Flo Rida. I think that's.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the entertainer Flo Rida, and not confirmed as being in or not yet. We still got Arkansas, Alabama, UCLA. Any other? I'm like scrolling through the divisions to see if any other division has no team in or out yet.
No.
The Big 12 only has 1 in, 1 out, and everybody else is nothing yet. West Virginia is the one that's in. Imagine that. They were like, yeah, we'll take the money. Thanks. TCU is the one that's out. Kind of confused on that one, actually. I'm not sure what you're holding out there for.
TCU says, as we continue to closely monitor the name, image, and likeness landscape, TCU's participation in the return of EA's college sports football is currently on hold.
Pitt is in.
That's all it says.
University of Pitt here in Pittsburgh is in. We'll keep our eyes on it, but we got over 2 years for it, so whatever. Notre Dame.
Yeah, most of that has to be like contract negotiation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There could be some of that too, yeah.
Yeah,
Although
they're waiting to see how much they're going to have to pay the athletes and then decide if the contract's worth it after having to pay their athletes.
Well, did you see the Michigan, I think it's Michigan State, I think? They are now officially the Michigan State whatever insurance Spartans or something like that.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I'm absolutely serious.
Holy crud. I haven't kept up with Michigan State and Michigan,
I think that's
even though I used to live there.
It's terrible. But that's how they're going to do it. If they have to pay athletes, I bet that's how they do it.
Oh my God. Michigan, this is a great headline. Michigan State, what a great headline from Sports Illustrated. Michigan State takes on nauseating name in deal with Rocket Mortgage. To appease the advertising gods and indulge in the spoils of sponsorship, Michigan State's men's basketball will now be known within the Bresner Center as MSU Spartans presented by Rocket Mortgage.
What? That's messed up.
Here's a statement from them. Michigan State is not renaming its men's basketball team. While this is a new extension of the partnership for Rocket Mortgage with men's basketball, this is not a first-of-its-kind sponsorship for the Spartans or a new concept in professional or collegiate team partnerships. It is a presenting sponsorship of the Michigan State's men's basketball season, which is a common practice in both you stupid advertisement. In both college and pro sports. This is nothing new for the school or the industry. Man, that's a really defiant, like, like, fuck you, we got our money. That's basically what it is. So the team name is not that. It's anytime the team is presented, it's the MSU Spartans presented by Rocket Mortgage.
So it's not going to be a New Jersey going on with all that.
It's still dumb. It's
totally
dumb.
That is totally stupid. But wow.
That's a good take, Mad Martha. Not new, correct. Not good either. What else do we have? Oh, yeah, this week was also the finalizing. Well, the previous week we had the finalizing of the Bethesda Xbox deal in pretty much all regions of the world. Everybody okaying the sale. So, of course, it was time for Xbox to come out and answer the hard-hitting questions, Jason, the ones that everybody wanted to know about first, right? Hardcore questions, right to the point. Give us all the answers. No, they didn't. We thought, we had hoped maybe they would. Obviously, they did not. There was a presentation this week, and although they didn't exactly answer the exclusivity going forward of Bethesda title question, Jason, they did allude to it and maybe give a hint on where we're headed here.
Yeah, Phil Spencer said, I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive because they have contractual obligations to see through. Every one of these is, we just don't know. In the future, there may be things that have contractual things or legacy on different platforms that will go to. Yeah,
I have a feeling that is specifically pointing at games like Deathloop, that are already, PlayStation exclusives.
Sure, for the moment, stuff like that.
Right.
But when you're talking like Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I want to say too, like I gotta find it here. Where's the because one of my new hated things in gaming. Remember I was so pissed off about ICYMI in case you missed the news article.
Yeah.
Here's my worst. Here's my new least favorite thing. It's coming from the press release. With the addition of the Bethesda creative teams, gamers should know that Xbox consoles, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games. Our platform is the best place to play these games. No.
What?
It's basically the same as every other platform. You're not... Get off your shit.
From the official statements, we get a little bit along the lines here, though. This is the next step in building an industry-leading first-party studios team, a commitment we have to our Xbox community. With the addition of the Bethesda creative teams, gamers should know that Xbox consoles, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games. That quote continues, though, including some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players. So,
and do you know why they'll be exclusive there?
Because those they are the paid best $7.5 billion
places to play. They played 40% of a Roblox. Yeah, I know.
Because they paid $7.5 billion.
You don't want to play on PlayStation. Ugh,
all right.
So
we got to lock in predictions now. Bethesda is going to do a little. Is going to be a big part of the Xbox show later this year around the time of E3. Xbox did confirm they're going to do their own, digital show around that time of year. Bethesda planning to be a big part of that. So, do we see Starfield at that show, and do we see Starfield released this year? Because there are some that think they're pulling what they did with Fallout 4, where they announced Fallout 4 literally like a few months before it released, which I like when companies do things that way. I hate waiting 2 years for a title or knowing about it 2 years in advance and a year in, I'm not interested in it anymore. But I actually like when you like Fallout 4, here it is, and then 3-4 months later, boom, it's on the shelf. Will Bethesda do the same type of thing with Starfield? Is that further along than we think it is at this point, Jason?
I doubt it.
So just like a trailer type deal and call it a day?
At best, if we get even that, because the Bethesda shows have been dreadful the last couple of years. Like, yeah, these games still exist. We're working on them. Okay, now look at Rocket Raccoon or whatever that one game was. Whatever that thing was. I don't even remember this crap anymore. Yeah, the Bethesda show used to be pretty cool, but it hasn't been for years. And if they show anything new and interesting there, I will be shocked and amazed.
You don't think any Elder Scrolls 6 yet?
Oh, fuck no.
No.
Like a trailer? I'm
Well,
not talking about
maybe.
like release
another
dates
10
here.
seconds. Another 10-second rollover with the title. Yeah, whoopee.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we
I'll say-
get more
yeah.
than that.
No,
No, I think
no, we don't.
it'll be a little title teaser thing, and then by the way, the other Elder Scrolls is available on all these other platforms again.
Also, we have 8 more versions of Skyrim, so go buy that
Right.
first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can now play it on HomePod.
Todd Howard was at this live stream event, and it's available on YouTube if you want to see it, gang.
Why would you want to?
Right. But he said some things that I'm just like, what? Why would you say that? Like, we all know this, but why would you say this? Speaking at the roundtable, Howard admitted that there was very little the team didn't screw up when it came to the Fallout 76 launch. And then went on to say that the buyout from Xbox, from Microsoft, would help avoid a Fallout 76 type scenario in the future, Yod.
I don't know about that. Fallout 76 was pretty bad. I paid for it. I played it.
Oh my god.
It was pretty bad. You don't think they had to sell to Microsoft because of Fallout 76, do you?
You know what? I don't think directly because of 76, but a huge factor. I do think Bethesda was in a bind, Jason.
You think so?
And
Yeah,
I think
I can see that.
BioWare isn't far behind them in a bind. Although they've already been bought.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Covered
BioWare
that
So-
last
bought.
week. They don't necessarily need to get unbinded. They could maybe just go away if they're not going to produce anything good anymore.
Yeah, I think BioWare is on the ropes, and I think Bethesda was in a bit of a pickle on this one too. What are you linking, Matt, Martha? What is this? Skyrim Special Edition announced for Samsung smart refrigerators and Alexa.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah,
I remember that too.
Yes, I remember that too.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
That was a couple years ago. If you don't know, go look it up. That's tremendous.
yeah, it's pretty hilarious, the Alexa one.
I'll tell you
remember that
what,
one.
though, the Game Pass, it is hard for me to overstate like how amazing Microsoft is just slamming it out of the park with Game Pass. If you were already an Xbox Gold sub, which I was, the Game Pass is just tremendous, and it just got a little better. More titles for you. 20 Bethesda titles already available on the Game Pass, including Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Doom, Doom 2, Doom 64, Doom 3, Doom Eternal, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Prey, Rage 2, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, 4 Oblivion, 5 Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online, The Evil Within, Wolfenstein The New Order, Wolfenstein The Old Blood, and Wolfenstein Youngblood. All of these, except Morrowind, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Online, and Fallout New Vegas, will also be available through cloud for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members. So you can play it on PC, you can play it on Xbox, and all but those 4 titles via cloud. Now, what's interesting here, at least to me, fantastic games. If you're missing on 1 or 2 of them, now you got an opportunity to play it if you have the Game Pass. But there are some, Jason, that are mysteriously missing from the list, in my personal opinion. Like, I don't know. How about Fallout 3?
Hmm.
How about The Evil Within 2? I don't know.
Rage
like,
1.
Rage 1, yeah.
Those are older games, right?
Well,
Well,
I mean,
so is-
they
some of
they
it's
are, but if you're
Morrowind.
going to put The Evil Within on there, where's The Evil Within 2?
Good
Yeah.
point. Good point.
I don't know. I'm
Maybe
not,
they're
like,
staggering.
if you have Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas on there, you probably should have Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Like, They are, of course, older titles, but hey, you can't argue if you haven't played some of those games. Now you have a chance to, and that just proves that Morrowind and Oblivion was the best time for Bethesda ever, right around that time.
Well, Oblivion until the horse armor came along because that gave us microtransactions.
Until the horse armor. The horse armor was TISO.
No, it wasn't. That was Oblivion.
Was it Oblivion?
That's what started
I thought it was-
microtransactions.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Horse armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's finish up with some weird things before we call it a day here. I thought this was kind of being a software engineer guy myself, I thought this was a really interesting conversation on Twitter. So I'm going to mispronounce this. I apologize. Stefan Hovelbrinks, from Death Trash team, one of the developers at Death Trash, tweeted about implementing doors in video games and said doors are complicated to have in games and have all sorts of possible bugs, mostly because they're dynamic funnel and block in the pathfinding, potentially locked, potentially destructible, but in general, because they sit potentially between any game interaction or character-to-character situation from here to there. AAA devs hate them too. The Assassin's Creed series, otherwise full of stuff, doesn't have them. So when a small indie developer adds them to their first game, having combat and non-combat situations as well as multiple input movement schemes, it's a lot of pain. And, okay, if it just had ended there, it would have been like, okay, yeah, interesting tweet. But, Jason, some others of bigger AAA companies started chiming in and basically agreed doors blow.
Yeah. Damien Schubert, one of the lead guys at BioWare, it's the SWTOR at one point. Even active opening a door is clunky as hell. Either a player reaches out and puts their hand on the doorknob, which feels slow and requires lining up animations, or doors fly open magically, automatically, which breaks the immersion you're probably hoping to attain. So yeah, he said doors even implemented well, do this frequently, and players usually don't even notice they are there.
But yet coding is so rough on them.
I remember I found this thing. I remember seeing like 4 or 5 years ago. It was actually from 5 years ago about someone making a thread of every person who works for a video game talking about their issues with doors. FX artist, I had some cool sparks to the door when it opens. Composer, I created a theme song for the door. Lighter, there's a bright red light over the door when it's locked and a green one when it's open. Character artist, I don't really care about this door until I can start wearing hats. And this goes on for like 50 or so different people. PR, to all our fans who are going to go crazy over next reveal, hashtag game devs, hashtag door. Community manager, let the fans know what their concerns about doors will be addressed in an upcoming patch.
Josh Sawyer from Obsidian said that doors are one of the first things we implement in any of our games. Let's get these done. Everybody build the damn doors and let's move on.
Yeah.
I just thought it was such a funny conversation for like all these different developing teams because it's not something as a gamer. I mean, unless they're done poorly, Mad Martha pointing out DayZ, you don't notice, right? Yod, as an artist, like somebody, forget like the programming, line of sight being important, whether the door is open or closed and all this functionality. Right. When you sit down and like, I commission you for a piece, right? Mm-hmm. What is the thing that you draw or graphically design on your massive tablet there that is the doors for you? Like, what is the thing you're like, shit, I want to get this done first because this is the pain in the ass. Like, I know for a lot of artists, it's human hands, not cartoon hands, 3-finger hands, but actual human hands. What is it for you?
Hands and feet are a pain in the ass. Proportions are a pain in the ass. The most complex, annoying thing that I've ever done is Final Fantasy XIV armor.
Oh, you just did that for your missus.
Yes, I did. But the layer upon layer upon layer of things in that Dark Knight's armor is a pain in the butt.
JRPG armor, yep.
Yep. Because you got straps upon plates, upon accents, upon buckles. And it's like, where is this thing going? How does this thing wrap?
And belts and belts and belts.
And belts and belts and belts because it's Final Fantasy.
Yep, exactly. I just wanted to say, too, in that list that I saw, after they have the 30 people who work for the company there, the last one is player. I totally didn't even notice a door there.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly
You
what
don't
I
think
just
about
said.
the doors.
The only doors we all know of are Resident Evil loading screen doors. That's it. That's it. By the way, those are not the doors they were talking about. They were talking about actual interactive doors.
Right.
I bring this up not because it's really great news, but I just want to, like, Germany was this close to getting it right, Jason. They were this close to getting this right. This close.
And
So
then they got paid,
originally,
and then they got paid in FIFA cards.
Originally, it was reported that German authorities were considering a legal reform that could force an 18-plus age rating on all video games with loot boxes. So they had this whole bill all written up, and in it was a piece that would make any game that had loot boxes 18-plus automatically as far as the rating. It would get the 18-plus mature rating. And mention risks from gambling-like mechanisms. However, the bill got amended. It appears the Bundestag made a mistake with its own announcement of the legal reform. So maybe the bill didn't even get amended. They just mistakenly described the bill. The announcement no longer included the line, "It is also planned to deactivate cost traps such as loot boxes by default." The amendment does stipulate that age ratings will be expanded to include descriptors for various problematic mechanics, including cost traps. The idea here is to indicate risk. However, there is no currently an indication that the games with loot boxes would be rated 18+. And so I just put that in here to show that Germany was that close, Jason, to, I think, getting this one right, and then got it wrong.
Cost traps are surprise mechanics.
Surprise
But-
mechanics.
But when you see that, first of all, it appears the Bundestag made a mistake with its own announcement.
Yeah.
That sounds like Daybreak making a mistake with who they're owned by. Oops, we didn't mean to say that. And like I said, the fact that it was there and then, like they announced it themselves and then changed it later, it's just like which EA lawyer had a chat with someone there?
Right.
Definitely.
I don't buy it. Yeah.
Definitely. All right, last thing, and we'll finish up with our Games of the Week recommendation. All you Resident Evil fans, get ready. I know, Yod, you're super excited about this one. You're just stoked. The Netflix show is actually a show, by the way, because this one went back and forth. Like, is it going to be a show? Is it going to be a movie? It is going to be an animated show. We got it on Twitter. The art for it. There's our friends. Leon Kennedy, Claire Redfield in Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, coming later this year, 2021. And now we also know a little bit about who's in it. So we've got Nick I'm going to get this wrong. Nick Apostolides?
Apostolides, probably. It sounds Greek.
As Leon Kennedy and Stephanie Panicello as Claire Redfield. They were the ones that played them in the RE2 remake, so they're coming back for this. This is going to be an episodic anime series, and we know a little bit about the storyline, too. Netflix described it as follows. In 2006, there were traces of improper access to secret presidential files found in the White House's network. American federal agent Leon S. Kennedy is among the group invited to the White House to investigate the incident. But when the lights suddenly go out, Leon and the SWAT team are forced to take down a horde of mysterious zombies. Meanwhile, TerraSave staff member Claire Redfield encounters a mysterious image drawn by a youth in a country she visited while providing support to refugees. Haunted by this drawing, which appears to be a victim of a viral infection, Claire starts her own investigation. The next morning, Claire visits the White House to request the construction of a welfare facility. There she has a chance to reunite with Leon and uses the opportunity to show him the boy's drawing. Leon seems to realize some sort of connection between the zombie outbreak at the White House and the strange drawing, but he tells Claire there is no relation and leaves. In time, these two zombie outbreaks in distant countries lead to events that shake the nation to its very core. Timeline-wise, by the way, this series is 8 years after the events of Resident Evil 2, 2 years after the events of Resident Evil 4, if you're kind of tracing Leon's storyline, and a year after the animated Leon, the other Leon. I can't. The name is escaping me.
The other Leon.
What was it
The other
called?
Leon. Yeah, there was three animated movies.
Damnation or Degeneration. I don't remember which, but it's a
Damnation,
year after.
Degeneration,
It's a
and
year
something
after
else.
that one. So I'm actually super excited for this. I've been interested in this. I love the Resident Evil series. It's got a special place in my heart with Resident Evil 1 anyway, being like the first PlayStation 1 game I bought ever. Story for a different time. Some of you already know that story. But Yod, I know you're a fan. You're not a big fan of the movies per se,
I
besides
like
them
for
being
different
good,
reasons.
bad movies.
Yeah, I like them for a different reason. I enjoy them for what they are, but they're not good movies.
I own all of them on
Yeah,
Blu-ray. I love
yeah,
them. I've
I've got them on DVD, most of them. I switched to digital after a while before the last ones came out, but I've got all of them on digital, and I watched them for a different reason than I watch a good movie. I've
Oh
also
yeah.
watched the animated movies, which those were
Those
really
are
well
good.
done.
I
Oh yeah,
love
those
them.
were really well done.
I love them.
Um,
Yeah, there are a few of them, Ninja. We're just talking about the Leon Kennedy specific one for
Right.
this take. Yeah, Mila Jovovich. Be still my heart.
Multipass.
Multipass.
Yes, multipass.
This is
Yes,
definitely
yes,
one
she
I'll
was
be watching. Is
multipass.
this one you're going to be watching, Yod?
Definitely. It will be something that I check out the day it comes out.
I know Leon's in that one, Ninja. There was one specific that I knew was
Yeah.
a year prior to this series. I just couldn't remember which one it was.
I mean, all three of them are good,
Swear to
but
God.
there's
No,
only
time
one of
him
them
out
that
again.
ties in.
Jason, how is this on your radar? Is this you don't care? Are you up there?
Zombies are to me what Vikings are to you.
And on that note, it's time to go to our games of the week. It is the first week I have ever won. I have ever won. Yod, you get to go first.
Well, I'm gonna go back to Destiny 2 because I was just playing it
camera.
with my pixelated camera. Yeah, so I've been playing it again this week and delving back into it. So it's been good. It's been good to me. So I'm gonna say Destiny 2.
Destiny 2 might be a hard one to beat. Go ahead, Jason.
I'm going to give the most tentative game of the week I've ever given out so far. And I'm going to give it to Imperator Rome from Paradox Entertainment, which is sort of the black sheep of their grand strategy catalog. Because it came out and it was bad. It was like in bad shape. Like what were we just talking about? It was like Fallout 76 bad. Like that's the category it was in.
You had to think the name of the name Fallout 76.
Well, there's so many bad games. I have trouble thinking of them all. But yeah, they've made like a bunch of different changes to it. They've like totally revamped it twice, I think. Now I have it. Now it's like at least playable. Like I don't hate playing it. I kind of enjoy it at times.
I'm gonna recommend this game because I don't hate playing it.
I recommend it if you want to be kind of chill about it. Like I don't. I'm still terrible at warfare. I wouldn't suggest trying to make. Don't. It's not a game where you have to like conquer half the world. So that's kind of nice. You just kind of sit there and do your trading and stuff, and get it on sale.
What
it's
a
probably not
ringing
worth
endorsement!
$60 or whatever. But you know, if you want something a little different, if you want some new grand strategy game, give it a shot if it's cheap.
Oh, this is tremendous. I'm gonna recommend this game because I don't fucking hate it.
Look, I've been playing it for like the last 3 weeks now, and I haven't stopped playing, so that's good. I haven't hated it. All right.
I'm gonna recommend
the other times I've played.
DJ Max Respect on Steam. I love rhythm games. Those of you that have watched my streams know I've streamed some of them here. We're going to get the equipment, Torchwick and I, so that we can stream the Oculus Rift. We'll set up an extra camera and everything. So we've already talked about that. So we could do Beat Saber and things like that. But DJ Max Respect, lots of fun. Lots of fun. If you want to check it out, on Steam. Not normally on sale, though, so maybe the price a bit much. Check it out. It's an absolute blast. Let us know which of the 3 games wins the recommendation of the week in the comments below, either on YouTube or over on ReadyCheckRadio.com. We'll be here next Saturday at 7 p.m. for another episode of Gaming Gumbo. Until then, Yod, where can everybody find you?
Yada works on Twitter, Yada works on Facebook, and right here on Gaming Gumbo.
Jason.
Find me on Twitter at Winter Informal, streaming at twitch.tv/Jason Winter. And just one more note about Imperator Rome. Just because Mad Martha's in chat, I want to make sure he knows that you can trade for aluminum in there.
Very good. Chat, make sure you hang tight after the show. We'll go dead on the channel for about 30 seconds, but then we'll bring it back up with Torchwick and his stream. What's up, sir?
Not much.
What are you playing today on games older than me? Is it still Fallout, the original?
It is still Fallout. We're gonna keep going till we beat it or get stuck.
Well,
I'm just being honest.
It might be the latter. You can pin yourself in that game. Those were the days. Are you enjoying it, though? Like, what's your take on it, having obviously not even been there when it released?
So, it's fun. That's a question. It's fun.
I was gonna say there was like an inflection at the end.
It's fun? Question mark.
I'm not hating it. I might give it Game of the Week this week.
You could change games. You don't have to beat the game. The only requirement for your stream is that the game be older than you.
I am enjoying it. It's just my brain can't get over this, like, the fact that this is Fallout, because I'm just so used to New Vegas and 3 and 4.
Yeah, from when.
So it's like I just have trouble. Like there's some dissonance there. I like it as its own thing, but I cannot reconcile that it is Fallout.
He's growing up into a Jason. What are you playing? This game I don't hate. I don't hate it, but
don't let your kids grow up to be Jason. Don't let your kids grow up to be Jason.
Well, Torchwick, we'll turn it over to you in just a few minutes. Chat, my name's Mike Byrne. You can follow me on Twitter right there. But more importantly, follow at RC Radio so we can tweet at you every time we go live with the show or one of our wonderful volunteers goes live with the stream. Stay safe. See you on the server.